towards that, we are good. This topic is something I covered with a small group of devotees. I am repeating that over here. In the initial period, it will be a little interactive. So it will be nice if everyone can keep their videos on and keep your microphone also unmuted, because I'm going to be asking one question and I want people to, kind of participate. So it'll be nice if everyone can participate. Okay. Hare Krishna. So the first question that I have for all of you is, what is real success in spirituality? That is the topic of my class, but I want to hear from all of you. What do you believe is real success in spirituality? Spirituality means so many things that could be successful, but what is real success? Let's try to understand from everyone's point of view. Hare Krishna. So you can raise your hand and speak up, or just unmute yourself and speak up. Either ways. Yes, Vishnu Surutam Prabhu.
Krishna. So my this thing that whatever process Srila Prabhupada has given for the devotees or for the so if we are trying to follow it, so if you follow it 100%, then you are 100% success. Cannot, because some of us may not able to follow that fully. So means that you can, that is a barometer as far that is what my take on this.
So following the instructions of Guru, following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, if you're doing that, that is real success. Very good. Okay. Anyone else would like to share?
Ultimate success.
Yes, Tanu Mataji. Tanu Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, according to me, if we keep doing our japa consistently on daily basis, remembering Krishna on, I think in each and every act, especially the important ones, which we find difficult, swarthi hai. So that is a real success.
Yeah, so Mataji is saying that if we are able to chant the holy names, do our sadhana sincerely, and we can remember Krishna while doing that, that is real success. Very nice. Nice definition. Yes. Anyone else? What else is real success in spirituality?
Inner happiness by feeling Krishna around.
Happiness by? I didn't get that. Happiness by?
Inner happiness.
By feeling Krishna around, Prabhu. By sensing, we can say.
Okay, by feeling Krishna in our lives, that is the real success. Okay, very nice. Anyone else?
You can,
yes, sir.
As Tanu Mataji mentioned, to chant properly every day.
Okay, if we chant properly every day, that is real success in spirituality. Okay, anyone else?
Remembering the Lord Krishna all the time, and attaining the Krishna Prem is the ultimate success of spiritual life.
Attaining Krishna Prem is the ultimate success of spiritual life. So, it's in the Pancham Purushartha. After Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, the Pancham Purushartha is Prema Pumartho Mahan, achieving pure, unmotivated, uninterrupted love for Krishna. Right? Yeah, thank you. Anyone else?
Krishna Guruji. I feel if we are able to serve Krishna by by chanting and by reading books, by book distribution, by making bhoga offering and all, so then that's real success.
If we are able to serve Krishna, Krishna, very nice. So all of these are good answers for what is real success. So what we will discuss today in the discussion in our lecture is different aspects, okay, of what and I'm looking at it from the lens of Srimad Bhagavatam, okay, because for us Srimad Bhagavatam is our law book, so to say. Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, because Bhagavad Gita has the laws, but Bhagavatam has the case studies, so we can clearly understand what is bhakti, what is not bhakti, what is bhakti in mode of goodness, what is bhakti in mode of passion, what is bhakti in mode of ignorance. All of that is clearly explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. So from the lens of Srimad Bhagavatam, let us try to understand, what is real success in spirituality, okay? So when I asked this question to my counselees, basically, I said I've done this once before. There were very similar answers, serving the instructions of Guru, chanting. Some spoke, so purity of sadhana, people spoke about. People spoke about Krishna Prem, pleasing the Guru, pleasing the Vaishnava, not getting stuck in material life, going back to Godhead, right? All of these came out as answers. So let's try to discuss this, right? So, while the answers that we received, right, are all coming from a platform of pure bhakti. All the answers that came from the platform of what is pure bhakti, right, which is unmotivated bhakti, which is like, oh, I want to do this. Now, if you look at from a very practical standpoint, as devotees, even after we have become devotees or we are trying to become devotees, we tend to bring our material conditioning into our bhakti practice. So, for instance, while I may be, I may be doing some service, okay, whatever service. Suppose I'm making garlands for the Lord, okay. My tendency will be that I'll make the best garlands. I'll make the best garlands. So therefore, what flowers heap is there, the best flowers I have to capture for myself because I make the best garlands. If kirtan is going on, my tendency will be to, if I am leading the kirtan, I'll put in a lot of, very intricate ragas that people are very impressed. He does very nice kirtan. It's very amazing, very melodious. So, unfortunately, even when we are practicing bhakti, our tendency is to bring in our materialistic ambitions, materialistic conditionings of wanting to be the best, wanting to be recognized, wanting to be praised by the body of Vaishnavas. That comes into our bhakti also. So, I'm just what I'm going to be presenting now. I'm just presenting different aspects, okay, of what traditionally a conditioned soul who is practicing bhakti may misinterpret what real success in bhakti is about. So on one level, Bhagavatam is full of examples of devotees who achieved something. Like you take Vyasadev. Srila Vyasadev, he wrote down the 4 Vedas, he wrote down the 18 Puranas, he wrote down the 108 Upanishads. He did all of that, okay, and the Mahabharata, so much scripture, Vedanta Sutra, so much. But after writing all this, he was not satisfied. So achievement-wise, I doubt anyone can, match the achievement. Sometimes, if we give one lecture and people appreciate, we become very proud, we feel ki, dekha na kaisa lecture tha. I hope all of you heard properly. You were not sleeping, no, when I'm speaking. So we become so conscious, that I hope everyone is paying attention because we are very attached to our success. When we are preaching, we're very attached because one measly lecture we are given, we become very proud, what a wonderful lecture I gave. But look at the achievement of Vyasadev. What has he done? So many scriptures he's written. Whatever was in the smriti of people, he put it down on paper, word by word, syllable by syllable. Amazing achievement, right? But he was not satisfied. There are many other examples of, achievements from a spiritual standpoint. What, somebody is doing a spiritual activity, but there is a sense of achievement. Like you take Daksha Prajapati. Now, Daksha, when the first yajna that he was doing, who attended that yajna? Brahma attended it. Lord Shiva attended it. All the principal sages attended it. And Lord Vishnu was supposed to be the one who comes and receives the fan, and all the demigods were there. Everyone was there. So in one sense, what a great achievement, right? But Daksha is quoted as an example of bhakti in the mode of ignorance. Bhakti in the mode of ignorance, because while he was doing this activity, yajna, the yajna is done for betterment of everybody. It is not just that, I will become something great. There is an element of doing good for others in yajna, because all the subjects, he is a Prajapati, he is Daksha, is an expert in being Prajapati, he's going to produce progeny. So before doing that, probably he's doing a yajna. So the intent is correct, but the conditioning is so strong that he got disturbed simply by the fact that Lord Shiva did not pay respect. Everyone else stood up. All the other sages, demigods, everybody stood up, except Lord Brahma, who is his father, and Shiva, who is his son-in-law. I mean, by material calculations. He was disturbed by that. And, though his achievement is amazing, but it is not really counted as something highly spiritual. Okay, so that's another example of achievement. There is another greater example of achievement, which is Prithu Maharaj. See, if you see Prithu Maharaj is actually a Shakti Avesh avatar of the Lord only. Now, when Prithu Maharaj came, he conducted these Ashwamedha Yajnas. He conducted 99 Ashwamedha Yajnas. Anyone knows how many Ashwamedha Yajnas Yudhishthir performed? Anyone knows?
One.
Yudhishthir, who was also emperor of the world, how many did he perform?
One, Prabhuji.
No, that
Only
was a
one.
Rajsuya. That was Rajsuya. He did one Rajsuya, which is where, Shishupal was killed, Krishna was honored and all. But after that, Krishna told him to perform Ashwamedha again. He did 3. Now you imagine Prithu Maharaj did 99 and he was doing the 100th one. Okay, so in terms of achievement, we cannot even imagine what is this achievement. Fantastic to do one Ashwamedha Yajna. See, Prabhupada says that these yajnas in today's day and age are not practical. Already by end of Dwapar Yuga, it was not very practical. That's why Yudhishthira was able to do only 3, and that also after he became the emperor, after the Mahabharata war. Right? So, one Ashwamedha Yajna is a massive thing, because everything has to be perfect, because that horse is sacrificed, it has to get a new body. If it is not done correctly, it will not. That means that yajna is failure after all the effort. Imagine to do one yajna. Today, we do one small home in the house, housewarming ceremony is there. एक छोटा सा यज्ञ करते हैं, in that small yajna अपने को पसीना छूट जाता है. It is really tough to do one small mini yajna where there's only one pandit and 4 family members. That's it. Even that is tough, So to do such a massive yajna and still not succeed can be a very big thing. You can imagine. He did 99. But then at that point, Indra became insecure because Indra carried the title of Shatakritu. Shatakritu means 100 yajnas, Ashwamedha yajnas, only Indra had done. And he was insecure, thinking that if this person completes his 100th Ashwamedha yajna, then he will also get the title of Shatakritu. And he will also become Indra. He will get my position ultimately. So he became very insecure. So he started stealing the Ashwamedha horse, the horse that was meant for the sacrifice. He started stealing that. Now we know the story from the 4th canto that he stole it once, twice, thrice, and every time he was stealing it, someone would point out, see, arey, the horse has been stolen. And Prithu Maharaj would send his son. And son would attack Indra, but then Indra would change his, vesh into that of a sannyasi. And for each vesh that he took, one sampradaya, one non-bona fide sampradaya was beginning. So ultimately, Prithu Maharaj himself, and when he changed the vesh of sannyas, the son of Prithu Maharaj would come back. He said, how can I attack a sannyasi? He would bring the horse back, but again, Indra would come and steal it. So finally, Prithu Maharaj himself went with his bow and arrow, and he was about to shoot because he knew that, So at that time, Brahma appeared before him, and he advised him, and the Lord also came and advised him that it's okay, you don't have to do the 100th sacrifice. I'm very satisfied with what you have done till now. You give up this 100th sacrifice, let Indra, because so many apasampradayas are being created, and it's going to create havoc amongst people who are following spirituality. So therefore, better that you leave this this effort of doing the 100th yagya and you just surrender. So Prithu Maharaj, he immediately agreed. The instruction came from the father Brahma, and the Lord also told him that I'm very pleased, and the Lord appeared before him. And Indra also appeared, and Indra apologized. I'm sorry, maaf kar do. Please forgive me for my mistakes. So he decided that I will not do the 100th yagya. Okay. Now, from an attainment perspective, if you look at it from a materialistic point of view, say, Arey yaar, once Sachin Tendulkar was batting, and he was batting on 194. He was 194 not out. And at that time, Rahul Dravid declared the innings because he was more keen that we win the match, and there was less time left to bowl out probably. So he declared the innings, and there was a big uproar. Arey, Sachin Tendulkar ka double century nahi hone diya. Big uproar. So you imagine someone has come to 99. So like, yaar, ek karne do na abhi kya matlab? What's the big deal, yaar? One more, I'll finish. At least I'll be able to say I did 100. 99 pe kaun rukta hai? But he stopped at 99. And guess what? From the perspective of the acharyas, from the perspective of the Supreme Lord, that giving up of that one yajna that he didn't do. Why? To please Lord Brahma, to please the Lord, was more of an achievement than the 99 yajnas that he had done. It's very easy. Our Shastras are so subtle. They present, these stories before us, and the Acharyas, they take out the essence of these stories and they present it before fools like us, right? So imagine that the attainment of not doing that one yajna for the pleasure of Guru and for the pleasure of Father and pleasure of, the Supreme Lord, that achievement is much greater than the 99 he did. One not done greater than 99 which he did. So it's transcendental arithmetic. Then we see Bali Maharaj, right? Bali Maharaj was the proprietor of the three worlds: the lower planetary system, middle planetary system, and upper planetary system. He was also doing a yajna. And Vaman Dev, now we're talking about achievements, right? So he had a fantastic achievement, and he had, conquered all directions. And then Vaman Dev came before him, asked for charity, asked for 3 steps of land. I'm just shortening it. He asked for 3 steps of land, and he said, yeah, okay, I'll give it to you. And his spiritual master, Shukracharya, told him, no, don't give. This is Vishnu, Baba. Don't you understand? He's going to take everything away from you. He's Hari. He'll take everything away. You can say, you have not said these things, so you can break your promise also. It's okay. He rejected his guru. He said, no, if the Supreme Lord, if you're saying what you're saying is true, he's a Supreme Lord and he is asking for 3 steps and I have promised him. If I go against my promise, then what is the use of my life? Because he is the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. Right? So he says, no, I will go ahead with this. The moment he said this, he decided to go ahead. Vaman Dev, became Trivikrama. He grew from a small batu into a massive form, and in 2 steps, he covered the lower, middle, and upper planetary systems. Everything was covered. And then he looked at, Bali Maharaj in the face, in the eyes, and he asked him, where should I keep my 3rd step? And Bali Maharaj told him that you can place your 3rd step on my head. Because I have nothing now. You have taken away everything away. So the only thing left is Atma Samarpan, Atma Nivedan. So he said, you place your 3rd footstep on my head. Now again, what was the achievement of Bali Maharaj? If you look at it, what were the achievements of Bali Maharaj? One achievement, you can say, he was so powerful that he conquered the 3 worlds. Very powerful. Second, after conquering the 3 worlds, he's doing a yajna. under the guidance of his guru. Again, what an achievement. Third, despite the guidance of his guru, against the advice of his guru, he decided to give the 3 steps knowing that this is the Supreme Lord. That is also an achievement. And the fourth thing, he told the Lord, you place your foot on my head, and then he went to hell after that. Which is his greatest achievement out of these 4? From a materialistic point of view, we look at it, it's obvious. He conquered all 3 worlds. From a, Smarta Brahmin perspective, he did a yajna, he kept his word. He said, I'll give 3 steps. He gave 3 steps. But if you look at it from the viewpoint, from the lens of bhakti, what is his greatest achievement? His greatest achievement, he said, Yaha rakho, please keep your lotus feet on my head, because that's where I deserve to go, to hell. So, materialist, even spiritual achievements, you can see there's such a spectrum. There's such a spectrum of, even achievements while following a spiritual path. Okay. So one level of, success in spirituality is what we achieve, what we did, and which the whole world is able to see. Acha, another one. What if you got now, like right now you can see behind me, you can see picture of Shishi Radha Gopinath. Okay. What if Shishi Radha Gopinath or Gopinath ji comes and stands in front of you, Sakshat, Darshan of the Lord? Is that spiritual achievement? Is that real success? If the Supreme Lord came in front of you, let's look at that. So if you see, I'll take 3 examples, okay? I'll take 3 examples. First example is the example of the 4 Kumaras. If you see the 4 Yeah, so if you see the 4 Kumaras, they got darshan of the Lord. They went all the way through the different, gates, and they went to the final gate of Vaikuntha. And there they met Jai Vijay, and then they cursed Jai Vijay, and then the Lord actually came out running from Vaikuntha, came out running to meet the 4 Kumaras. And then the 4 Kumaras, when the Lord is coming, just by the smell of the tulsi at his lotus feet, just by smelling that, they lost their attachment to the impersonal Brahman, and they became Vaishnavas, they became devotees. Now, they got darshan sakshat of Lord Vishnu. Then there is a second example of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj also performed terrible. He was insulted by his stepmother Suruchi. He received instructions from Suniti. He went to the forest. He met Narad Muni, met his guru Narada Muni on the way. Narad Muni told him how to perform meditation, make a murti of the Lord, and then meditate, chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So he started doing his tapasya. So it is described in the Bhagavatam what kind of a terrible tapasya it was. The first month he had only leaves, like something like 3 days a month, once in 3 days. Then the next month, once in 6 days, he was having water. And third month, once in 9 days, he was only breathing. And it became worse and worse. And so at one point of time, within 6 months, it is described his austerity was so terrible that the air vanished, all the vayu from the universe had concentrated in his body, and his body became heavier than the universe. So, the whole santulan, the whole balance of the universe was getting destroyed by the tapasya of Dhruva Maharaj. Okay. And the demigods went running to Lord Vishnu and requested, see what this boy is doing, please, my Lord, please come and save, Trahi, please come and save us. So Lord said, don't worry, I'll go. And Lord immediately came in front of him, gave him darshan. Like he gave the 4 Kumaras darshan, he gave Dhruva Maharaj also darshan. Okay. And then we have the third example of Prahlad Maharaj. Okay. So Prahlad Maharaj, when he was, he was being tortured by his father, from the get-go, right? I mean, from a very young age, he was just 5 years old, he had gone to school, father asked him, what did you learn? And he spoke pure bhakti. So immediately Hiranyakashipu became inimical towards his own son. And in so many ways, he tried to kill Prahlad Maharaj. He tried to kill him, right? And it was not actually very difficult. Prahlad didn't have to say that, oh, my father, you are the greatest, and this and that. He could have just said something, got away with it. There was no need for him to speak pure bhakti. He could have just spoken anything. And, he could have quietly practiced his bhakti like many people do, like you all are doing, quietly practicing your bhakti without making too much noise about it. He could have done the same thing. But no, he spoke his mind. And then after that, what kind of torture he went through? Can you imagine a young child? Any of you ever seen a snake in your life? Anyone? Yeah. I'm not talking a snake which is in that snake charmer's box, a snake which is just, going through the wild. Anyone seen like that? A wild snake, which is just, roaming free. Yeah, some of you have seen. So it's the scariest sight in the world, frankly, because you see a snake, first thing you think is, yeah, I'm going to die, because the snakes just don't know anything else except biting the person in front of them. Very envious creatures. So imagine if you are thrown into, as a child, you're thrown into a pit of poisonous snakes, thrown in so that you're killed. For a young child, what he has gone through. Then they tried to pierce his body with sharp spears and swords. Young child. Okay. Then they put him in fire, Holika. They put him in fire. Then they, they tried to put him throw him off a mountain cliff. They tried everything, then like 52 ways to kill a person. They tried everything to kill him, but didn't succeed. And finally, father got frustrated and took his sword. He said, I will kill you personally, And he said, let's see who will protect you. Will your Lord come to protect you? He said, where is your Lord? Where? Is he in this pillar? He's in this pillar. And then he hits the pillar. And now the Lord who is in Vaikuntha, okay, instantly at that moment, from the point where Prahlad said it and Hiranyakashipu hit the pillar, within an instant, the Lord has taken this form of half lion, half man and appeared as Narsimha. Direct Sakshat Darshan, not just to Prahlad, but to his father also. Now, out of these three case studies which we discussed, 4 Kumaras, Dhruva, and Prahlad, let us just analyze, okay? In case of the 4 Kumaras, they got the darshan of the Lord. But was the Lord pleased? If you read the Bhagavatam, you read the purports, the Lord was not very pleased. He was actually a little sarcastic to the 4 Kumaras. When he spoke to them, he was a little sarcastic to them. He said that, oh, it is only because I take the dust of your lotus feet on my head, therefore I am able to do whatever I am able to do. So Prabhupada comments that the Lord is being sarcastic here. So Lord was not very pleased. And if you notice, the 4 Kumaras didn't get entrance into Vaikuntha. The Lord came outside and met them at the door. You imagine, no, if someone comes to your house, you meet them at the door, and from there only you say, okay, nice meeting you, tata, bye-bye, and send them away. Practically, that's what happened. The 4 Kumaras were not even allowed inside. The Lord was not pleased that they cursed my servants and forced me to come out like this. The Lord was not very pleased. In case of Dhruva Maharaj, he performed austerities. Okay, he performed austerities. Now, at least he didn't perform austerities Lord Brahma like the demons do. He performed austerities directly to Lord Vishnu. Akama sarva kamova moksha kama udaradi. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. So he did yajeta purusham param only. He didn't do anything else. Again, Lord was forced to come before him because he had a material desire. He had a material desire, and that's why he was worshipping Lord Vishnu. It was not bhakti. He had a material desire, and the Lord was forced to come in front of him. But here the Lord was still kind of pleased, and the Lord said, okay, this child has so much determination, I must come before him. The Lord comes and gives him darshan. But the third case where Prahlad Maharaj, he just asked, is he here? He said, yeah, he's here, he's everywhere. He's everywhere. And the Lord just made up this form and appeared at that spot immediately. So, you see, the Lord, even getting the darshan of the Lord, there are categories over there. It is like mode of ignorance, mode of passion, mode of goodness. So, even getting the darshan of the Lord, sakshat, doesn't mean anything if our intent is not correct, if it does not please the Lord. Okay, then renouncing the world. Suppose you renounce everything. You become a sannyasi, you become a brahmachari, you become a sannyasi. So there are examples of people who renounce the world. Bharat Maharaj renounced the world. Kardama Muni renounced the world. Okay. But again, you see, Bharat Maharaj, when he renounced the world, he renounced everything. And he went to the forest. But then at one point, he gave up the Lord and he chose a deer. Not pleasing. Kardama Muni's renunciation is still pleasing to the Lord. Because why did Kardama Muni renounce the world? He had already said, I'm going to renounce. Moment progeny are born, then I will take sannyas and I will leave. He had told his wife, had told his father-in-law, sabko bol ke rakha tha. He had already informed. So he took sannyas. So now, there is a question that Srila Prabhupada asks, inside inside that purport, that portion of the Bhagavatam, that now you are going to take sannyas, but the Supreme Lord has appeared in your home. Now why you need to take sannyas? You take sannyas so that you can attain the Lord. The Lord is already attained. Why is he taking sannyas? It's a very, very pertinent point that Prabhupada raises. The Acharyas explain that he took sannyas and left the home despite the Lord being present because his rasa with the Lord was that of dasya. He was in dasya bhav with the Lord, shanta and dasya bhav with the Lord. But if the Lord has come as his own son, then that is vatsalya ras. So the dasya bhav will interfere with vatsalya, or vatsalya will interfere with dasya bhav. So as a parent, you can't take a servant's role with the child. So that there is no rasabhas, he took sannyas and went away. Right? So even if you take sannyas, and before he took sannyas, what did he do? He went into permission. He went and met Lord Kapila Dev and told him that, my Lord, thank you for appearing in my family. Now with your permission, I want to take sannyas. Okay. Then we may say another thing. Okay. Material attainments in the world, but for the service of the Lord. Suppose we are talking of real success. Suppose we attain many things in this material world, but with the intention that with this I will serve the Lord. Is that success? We say the example of the Amrit Manthan. The Amrit Manthan that was done. The Amrit Manthan, again, look at it, that so many things came out of it, right? The wish came, and then Airavat came, then Lakshmi Devi came, so many things, Apsaras came, I think Rambha or Urvashi, I don't remember, one of the Apsaras also came. So ultimately what happened? That, the Amrit was attained by, this whole thing, and that Amrit, the Lord had told the Devatas that many things will come along the way. When you are trying to attain this Amrit, when you are churning, many things will come along the way. Do not be distracted. Do not be distracted. Be very focused. Wait for the Amrit. Don't do anything else. Devta said, okay. And so many things came, the demons were, trying to snatch whatever was coming. But the Devatas didn't do it. Okay. Ultimately, when the Amrit came, what happened? Again, the demons stole the Amrit. They snatched it and they said, we will drink it. And they started fighting amongst themselves. And finally, Lord had to again appear as Mohini Murti to bewilder the demons, take away the Amrit from them and give it to the demigods. So, the real attainment was not the Amrit that they received. If you see in this whole pastime, the real attainment of the demigods was not the Amrit that they received. The real attainment of the demigods was they received the mercy of the Lord. They were fully surrendered to the Lord at every stage of this pastime. Initially everything. I mean, the whole pastime at every stage the Lord was involved, right? To, Vasuki, then lifting the Mandara mountain. Then Mandara mountain was sinking. So he came as Kurmadev and he held the mountain. Then he went on top and as Ajita, he became like the pivot which held the mountain in its place. Then he was helping with the churning also. And everything start to finish. Everyone became unconscious because of the wish that was coming. He brought them back to life again. So everything, they were depending on the Lord, Trahi, Lord, please save us. And the Lord was saving. Every time Lord was saving. Even finally, when the Amrit was taken away, Lord only saved them. So the real attainment was not the Amrit. The real success was not the Amrit. The real success of the demigods at that point was that they surrendered to Krishna. They surrendered to the Supreme Lord. They surrendered to the will of the Lord, and that's why they were successful. Okay. Passing away while remembering Krishna, Now, for most devotees, this is very important, right? But secretly we keep this desire in our heart. And my Lord, I'm doing all this, but ultimately, at the end of life, please, I should be able to remember Antakale cha maam eva smaran muktva kalevaram ya prayati samad bhavam yati asti natra sanshaya. In the Gita 8.5, Krishna gives the clear direction. At the end of life, Antakale cha maam eva. If you remember me alone, maam eva smaran muktva kalevaram. You leave your body remembering me alone. Okay, smaran muktva kalevaram. Ya prayati samad bhavam. This person will come back to me, will come back to Godhead. Yati asti na atra sanshaya. Says of this there is no doubt. What an assurance the Lord is giving, right? A fantastic assurance. So, Bhagavatam is full of stories of people who left their body remembering the Lord. Okay. Now, is that real success of spiritual life? Leaving the body remembering Krishna? Let's analyze that also. Okay. So if you look at it from point of view of, there are many stories. Like there is the story of Ajamil. Ajamil remembered Narayan at the last moment when the Yamdutas were coming to take away his soul. He chanted, Narayan, 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 helplessly cried out Narayan. And because he was crying out Narayan, the 4 Vishnudutas came and they told the Yamdutas, hey, hold on. You don't have any, jurisdiction here. This person has not performed any sinful activity. You can't take him away. They started laughing. Are you nuts? Kya bol rahe ho? Kaise ho sakta hai? This person is the whole department for this guy. How much sins he has committed? And then there was an argument, and finally, the Lord's servants, the Vishnu Dutas, were able to push out, the Yam Dutas. So Ajamil remembered Narayan. But was that remembrance, and that remembrance saved him from certainly going to hell. But it saved him from going to hell. But is that remembrance pleasing to the Lord? No. If we also think that somehow, at the end of life, somehow I'll remember Krishna's name, throughout the lifetime during chanting, like one of the Mataji said, no, that when we are chanting, we should be able to remember Krishna. Throughout our lifetime, when we are chanting Krishna, we are not remembering Krishna. We are chanting, but there is no remembrance. It is just a mechanical sound coming out of the mouth. There is no remembrance, there is no effort to make even remembrance. Is that chanting pleasing to the Lord? Is that remembrance at the time of death? Ki Baba, dekho, I have done chanting for so many years. Now you please take care of me, okay? You have promised in Gita. Now you please fulfill your promise. You know, that kind of remembrance of Krishna is not very pleasing to the Lord. Lord may, okay, fine. You know, I'll take care of you. But he's not pleased. So what is pleasing to the Lord? We have many stories in the Bhagavatam of those who remembered the Lord and left their bodies. Like there's a story of Bhishma. Bhishma, he was seeing the Lord in front of him, Sakshat, in front of his eyes, and remembering the Lord, he left his body, pleasing to the Lord. We have the example of Parikshit Maharaj, who is the whole subject of the Srimad Bhagavatam, you know, the receiver of the Srimad Bhagavatam. He also remembered the Lord and left his body. We have the story of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj also, the story is very beautiful in Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the consciousness when he left his body? He is, you know, so when his final moment came, at that time, you know, the Vishnu Dutas came to receive him. And at that time, Dhruva Maharaj, he was living amongst the sadhus. He had already given up his, you know, kingdom, everything, and he was living with the sadhus. So what did he do? He first went, he took a bath, then he went and paid obeisances to all the sadhus. Then he thought with gratitude about my mother Suniti. She was the one who brought me into the path of bhakti. What about her? The Vishnu Dut told her, don't worry. Oh, dekho, udhar, there's another Vishnu, you know, Vishnu Dut Viman, which is going to take her back to Godhead. So don't worry. You are also, she's also taken care of. Then he went and boarded the Viman and went back to Godhead. So this is the consciousness of a devotee when leaving the body. That they are not thinking, he didn't tell the sadhus, Tata, you know, mera ho gaya, I'm done. You guys are still here only, but I'm done. Bye-bye. He didn't do that. He went and paid obeisances to each of them because he never felt that I'm qualified to go back to Godhead. And even when the last step was there, he remembered his mother, his Pata Pradarshaka Guru, that, you know, what about her? Say, yeah, don't worry, she's taken care of as well. This is a beautiful consciousness. You see, Srila Prabhupada, when Srila Prabhupada was leaving his body, till the last moment, what was he doing? He was not like, okay, bas ho gaya, now I have finished everything. Now you guys take care of everything. Now I will just go into my bhajan. I'll just do my bhajan. That's it. No. Till the last breath, Prabhupada was translating Srimad Bhagavatam. He was serving. Because a pure devotee, they don't see leaving the body as a stepping stone to going back to Godhead. No. Their consciousness is Mama Janmani Janmaneshwari Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahituki Tvai. This is their consciousness. They are not thinking in terms of, this is my final lifetime. Chalo, everyone. Ami Zato, I am leaving. Bye bye. Hare Krishna. No. His consciousness, a pure devotee's consciousness is, let me serve till I have something left in this body. And after this body is over, I will continue my service wherever the Lord decides to please me. He may place me into any body. Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying that let me be an insect in the home of a devotee. I don't mind, but I want to be in the home of a devotee. This is the consciousness. So even leaving the body, you know, is nothing great. If you are not doing it in the right consciousness, the Lord is not pleased with that, right? Ability to control one's senses. This is also another achievement spiritually. But you see, Sobari Muni, what control he had out of his senses? He was able to live underwater. But he blasphemed a devotee of the Lord. He blasphemed Garuda. He cursed Garuda. And because he cursed Garuda, what happened? All his sense control was of no use. He completely forgot everything, and he went and got married to 50 princes, 50 or 100, I forget. He completely lost it. So sense control also, while sometimes we may become proud, after following the process of bhakti, we come to a point of anartha nivritti. Are, lust is no longer troubling me. I don't become angry anymore. I don't feel proud. Looks like anartha nivritti has come. You may become proud. You may become proud that your pride is gone. What is the use of that sense control? If it is not pleasing to the Lord, right? So Saubhari Mani showed our sense control. Even Ambrish Maharaj showed sense control. Ambrish Maharaj, when he had done already fasting for 1 year, and he was going to break his fast, at that time, Durvasa came and said, just hold on, I'll just take a bath and come, and then, and he's not coming back only. And then finally, his advisors told, just drink some Charanamrit, that is fasting, toda bhi hai, or maybe toda, aisa hai. So you have to take it. That's why, I remember once I had gone for first time for Janmashtami, the first time you're fasting, like, Nirjal, and you're feeling very good about yourself. And then, we were standing in the line for Prabhupada Guru Puja, and and suddenly someone gave, Charanamrit. I just drank it. I said, fasting. What about fasting? Chill, Baba, cool down. This is not counted. You can have this. This is okay. So he took Charanamrit, and then, Durvasa got angry, cursed him, created a demon. That demon got destroyed by the Sudarshan. A long story. He went to all the three different. He went to Brahma, he went to Lord Shiva, he went to Lord Vishnu, and Vishnu told him, sorry, Baba, you have offended my devotee. Even I cannot do anything. You go away from him. Unless he forgives you, nothing can be done. So imagine how much time is gone for all this. He's gone to all the three planetary, he's gone to Vaikuntha and come back. Another year probably passed, and in that 1 year, this person is still fasting. That Ambrish Maharaj is still fasting because Durvasa has not come back. What kind of sense control? So sense control that is meant for the pleasure of the Vaishnava, that is meant to serve the Vaishnava, that is meant to serve the Lord, that sense control is successful. Otherwise, sense control by itself has no value. What is the value of that if it is not pleasing the Lord? It's not pleasing the Vaishnavas. Achha, doing some service for the Lord. Suppose you are doing some service for Krishna directly. Okay, let's take example of this. Yashoda Mai. Yashoda Mai, she was doing service to Krishna only. Pure devotee, no questions asked. She was doing service to Krishna. She had kept Krishna in her lap. Right? And she had, during Damodar Leela, she had kept Krishna in her lap and she was feeding him her milk. And then suddenly she remembered that I had kept, that special milk on the gas, and that is boiling over. So she told Krishna, 1 minute, I'm just keeping you down. And she went there. Now, when she went there, did she go for her own sense gratification? No. Why she went? Because she felt that milk of Padmagandha cows is so special milk, that milk should not get wasted. So for Krishna's service only, she gave up Krishna's service. She was serving Krishna by feeding him her milk, but she went there to get that milk, which is also for Krishna's service only. But still, what happened? End result? Krishna was not happy. What did Krishna do? Krishna broke the butter pot. He went out. He brought the butter down, distributed to the monkeys, created a mess, everything. Right? He created a mess. But Acharyas explained that there's a lesson there, that he was not pleased with what Yashoda Mai did. That, for this mundane milk, you are giving up me, you're keeping me down. How can you do this? So I give the example that sometimes when we are chanting Hare Krishna, we are chanting Hare Krishna, we are holding, the lotus feet of Krishna in our hands, those beads. I like the lotus feet of Krishna, and we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So while chanting, if we suddenly decide to keep that beads down and pick up our phone or go for something else or pick up newspaper or pick up anything, what are we doing? We are keeping Krishna down. If Yashoda Mahi, who is his mother, who is the purest of all pure devotees, Lord was not happy with her keeping him down, what is our state? If we keep Krishna down, we are keeping the beads of the Lord down, we are keeping the holy name down, and we're doing something else. So you have to be very careful. Even when you're doing your service, be very careful that what is it that I'm doing? Is it pleasing the Lord or not pleasing the Lord? So service to the Lord. We see the Brahman Patnis. The Brahman Patnis, what were they doing? They were serving their husband. They were doing their dharma as wives. The husbands were doing this yajna, and for that yajna, they had prepared various bhogas. They were doing their Patni Dharma. Brahman Patni Dharma they were doing. They were doing their duty. But when Krishna Balram came, when the friends of Krishna Balram came and said that for Krishna Balram we want some food, they immediately gave everything to Krishna Balram. They said, this is for you. Please take it. And then after that, so imagine, okay, they are doing devotional service, giving it to Krishna. Okay, rather than, because even in the yajna, it is going to Krishna only. See the comparison, okay? Yajna, the Agni of the yajna is actually the tongue of Lord Vishnu, is described. So whatever, swaha, whatever you put in the fire is actually going to Vishnu only. So those offerings were directly, indirectly going to Krishna only. But still, this service was more pleasing to Krishna than the service of the Brahmanas, because the Brahmanas became very proud. Hey, buzz off. We are not giving you anything, But these women who were so humble, they said that, no, my lord, you please take. Because they realized what is the essence. The essence is to please Krishna. It is not about how you do it. If the Lord has given you direct instruction, you do what he has told you. So after this was over, they said, Lord, you please take us with you now. We don't want to be, these husbands will anyway not accept us now. So you please take us. So Lord said, no, don't worry. They will completely, their hearts will be changed, and, they will actually appreciate what you have done. So you go back, because so they could have said, hey, kya, Bhagwan, abhi, we have surrendered, we have done Sharanagati. Now why you are doing this to us? But no, they did what was pleasing to the Lord. Right? Ultimately, so kind of, to summarize, we discussed many things, right? Ultimately, whatever we may achieve in spiritual life, whether it is control over our senses, or it is some wonderful service which we are doing, or it is some position. Oh, you are counselor. Oh, you are temple president. Oh, you are preacher. Oh, you are this, you are that. You may achieve some position. You may achieve some perfection in sadhana also. Maybe your sadhana becomes very good. You reach that stage of, clearing stage of sadhana. Maybe you get some expertise. Maybe you get some ruchi, some taste in, Harinam, some taste for hearing katha. Maybe you get praise, you get appreciation from devotees. Maybe you even remember Krishna at the time of death. We discussed all these scenarios. But the key is, if Krishna is not pleased, then our success doesn't matter. का कोई value नहीं है. Whatever success you achieved, whether control senses, whether service, position, expertise, ruchi, bhava, Bharat Maharaj was at stage of bhava. If it is not pleasing to Krishna, whatever success we get in life, that doesn't matter, right? So, however, so many achievements, but if they are not pleasing to Krishna, it's not a success. But by the reverse, if we try our best in our spiritual activities and apparently fail, we didn't succeed, we didn't manage to control our senses, we couldn't remember Krishna at the time of death, we never got any position in bhakti, we never, we never achieved the taste of holy name, We never got any appreciation from devotees. Nothing. All our spiritual activities we failed. But if Krishna is pleased by our efforts, then that failure doesn't matter. Like we see in the example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he met that Brahman in Srirangam, that Srirangam Brahman, he was told by his guru to chant the verses of Bhagavad Gita every day, and he was not educated properly, so he could not even read. Something he was doing, he was trying to, somehow read the verses, and everyone was laughing at him. But still, the Lord was very pleased. Why? Because he got the essence of the Gita. He asked him, why are you crying? I understand you're reading, you're following, very good. This is first class. Even if you are not able to read properly, you are following the instructions of the Guru, this is first class. However, why are you crying? He says, I'm crying because every time I pick up the Gita, I remember the position of the Lord, Supreme Lord of this whole universe, Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. But he is taking a menial position as a servant of Arjuna, as Parthasarthi. When I see this, I see the 180-degree, different position that the Lord takes, a Supreme Lord, but taking the lowest position. When I see this, I see his compassion, I see his love. I can't help but cry. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, this is perfection. You may not have memorized a single verse of Gita. You may not be able to chant a single verse, but if you have understood the essence of bhakti, you have pleased the Lord with your bhakti. Sarva Siddhi Hoy. All Siddhi is there with you. So real success in bhakti or real success in spirituality is to live a life where we are not attracted or distracted by any of these attainments, quote unquote, attainments of bhakti, position, puja, labh, pratishtha, this, that, titles, and we shouldn't be distracted or attracted by any of the attainments of bhakti. But if we simply attend to keep on doing that which will please the Lord by humbly following the instructions of Guru and Vaishnavas sincerely, seriously, and with no ulterior motive. If we are simply able to do this, this is real success in spirituality. Coming back to where we started from, if we are simply following the instructions of Guru, instructions of Srila Prabhupada, sincerely, seriously, and with no ulterior motive, I'll do this, ultimately they'll recognize my bhakti and they'll make me a temple president. That is not pleasing to the Lord. We have to be very focused. Be focused on what pleases the Lord. Bhagavatam gives you full clarity that achievements mean nothing to the Lord. It's insignificant. But when we surrender to the will of the Lord, we surrender to the will of the Guru, like Prithu Maharaj did, that is what is ultimately pleasing to the Lord, and that is real success in spirituality. So I'll end with that. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. Any questions or comments? We have time for about 1 or 2 questions. Anybody? Any questions or comments? You can unmute yourself and speak.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mata.
Prabhuji, pleasing the Lord means it's synonymous with surrender to the Lord. This is what the essence we are getting. No? We have to please the Lord, which is success, is equal to basically surrender.
I'll not equate the two. See, pleasing the Lord means doing those activities. Okay, doing those activities that will please the Lord. What are those activities? We already know. Our Guru has, Guru or Shiksha Guru has very clearly given us what is it that pleases Lord, right? We don't have to guess. It's very clear. We chant the holy names that pleases us sincerely, attentively, that is pleasing to the Lord. We serve the Vaishnavas, that is pleasing to the Lord. We read read, hear, study Srimad Bhagavatam, apply it in our lives, that is pleasing to the Lord. We worship the deity of the Lord, that is pleasing to the Lord. We go to the Dham, we serve in the Dham, we soak our consciousness, absorb ourselves in the Dham, that is pleasing to the Lord. We serve the Vaishnavas. You can't go wrong with serving Vaishnavas. You simply can't go wrong there. If you are sincerely, seriously, with no ulterior motive, if you are serving the Vaishnavas, you simply cannot go wrong. That is like 100% successful, because your chanting may not be so good. But if you're serving the Vaishnavas, how bad can you be there? So, if we just make this the purpose of our life, that I must somehow serve the Vaishnavas and follow the instructions given by Guru, pleasing the Lord will happen. I don't worry about the end result. I have to follow the process. Because result, the most difficult thing in this world is to please the Lord. It's not easy. It's very difficult. But what is easy? What is easy is what the Lord has given us, just follow. That is easy. So we just sincerely try to follow. And at some point, the Lord will be pleased. The Lord is already pleased, actually. He's just expressing it in a way which you can't recognize. The fact that you are still chanting, if you started chanting maybe 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, 25 years back, the fact you are still chanting, it means the Lord is already pleased with you. Otherwise, you would not be able to. You would not be able to continue on. The fact you are able to continue, Lord is already pleased. The fact that you're still in the association of devotees, despite being in a remote place like Saudi Arabia, Lord is already pleased with you. The fact that you are hearing, Mother is in Switzerland, is it?
Switzerland. So she has to call some devotees there and serve them, I think.
Yeah, where there's a will, there's a way. You'll find a way. Switzerland also, there are devotees. Thanks to the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, wherever we are in the world, we will find Vaishnavas. So the easy way to please the Lord, surrender is a very big word. Sharanagati, very big word. But service to Vaishnavas is something we can easily digest. Doing our japa sincerely is something we can easily digest. We can't do so easily, but we can digest it at least. So let's try to do what is in our control. Okay, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Thank you, Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Yes. Amrita Madhav. There's an echo that is coming.
Yeah, Prabhuji. I was trying to speak from the phone, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, you said like it's like following the instructions of the spiritual master. So I guess for chanting also the same answer which you gave Tanu Mataji applies, right, Prabhuji?
Meaning?
Like if we are able to chant properly, that should please God, right? Or
Of course, yes. Lord is very pleased. I remember my father was telling me he heard one lecture of Vishwarup Prabhu. Everyone knows Vishwarup Prabhu? At least you would have heard of me. He was one of the first ones who came to Saudi Arabia, and many years back, 30 years back. Anyway, so Vishwarup Prabhu says in Hindi, he says, Japa mat karo, pukaro. Pukaro means what? Call out. Call out the names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Call out. If we chant like that sincerely, that chanting will purify us very fast. We are afraid to chant like that. We don't know what purification will come. So therefore we are like, no, I'm okay with whatever I'm doing. We do our, substandard quality of chanting. But yeah, if we chant sincerely without any distractions, our mind will distract us. Let our body not distract us. You see? Mind will distract only. So uska kaam hi hai wo. Maya is acting through the mind. Maya is acting through the, just few days back, actually, I had made one lecture on 3 levels of distraction. I don't know if anyone saw that. I told you, last time I think I mentioned that every day I'm coming out with one minute video. 1.5, 1 minute only, practically 1 minute video. So in that, I spoke about 3 levels of distraction. Okay, distraction is on 3 levels. One level of distraction is on the senses, physical distraction, that you are sitting and chanting sincerely, and suddenly one notification comes on your mobile phone, or the bell rings and you go out, or your child comes in front of you, your wife comes in front of you, your husband comes in front of you, whatever it is. Physical level distraction, okay? Sensory level distraction. Second level of distraction is at the level of the mind. Mind doesn't need any sense object to distract you. See, at the sensory level, sense object is needed. No. Only if the phone is there, then you'll get distracted. The phone is in some other room. Even if notification comes, you'll not come to know. You'll not get distracted. But the mind doesn't need even the sense object in front. In the mind only, the sense object will manifest. Last time you remember, you had enjoyed like this. You had watched this movie. You had watched this serial. इसका अभी part 2 आया है. देखने का है आपको. Mind will remind you. It will distract you. So mind will distract you. And the third level of distraction is at the false ego level. You may be able to survive distraction at the sensory level. You may be able to survive distraction at the mental level. But at the false ego level, distraction is really powerful. Because there, your false ego will tell you, you are already a very great devotee. You have achieved pure bhakti. You are the senior most amongst all these devotees over here. Understand? You should know who you are. Your false ego will tell you that. And that will distract you from your sadhana. So a distraction can come in different forms. It's freely available distraction. So for us, at our level, if we at least physical distraction, we should try to avoid. That don't keep things in front of you when you are chanting, ideally, so that you don't get distracted. Mental, your mind will keep throwing suggestions at you. Learn to ignore them. That's what Prabhupada says, right? Bring the mind back to the sound of the holy name. And false ego, well, that will go only by hearing. We keep hearing Hari Katha, and we realize that I am an insignificant fool. I am nobody. Dasanu das. That's what my position is. By hearing that again and again, and actually doing the practicals, that means really serving the Vaishnavas in that mood, dasanu das, then that false ego will be purified. That's what it is. So if we chant like that sincerely, the Lord is pleased. There's no doubt about it.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Or shall we conclude? It's already 3:45. So shall we conclude now? Or anyone else has any burning question?
Prabhuji, please. Pay our gratitude to Prabhuji. Anuradha Prabhuji. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, His Grace Dr. Prabhuji, for delivering the wonderful class. We need such a recurrent classes from you so that we never forget to please the Lord. So you kept the suspense till the end that what is the success in the spiritual life, and we got the answer through your explanation in a great way. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Let us chant 3 times Hari Bol as a gratitude to His Grace Siddhamasta Prabhu by chanting loudly.
Hari
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 Bol. Hari Bol.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari
Thank you
Hari
very
Bol.
much. Hare Krishna.